Alright guys, Brother Maynard here with a game against Tomb Kings for you. The left side of my deployment zone, I got a unit of 5 raiders with a musician in the woods, a unit of 6 minotaurs, another unit of 5 raiders with a musician, Tuskor chariot, 40 ungors with full command, my general's unit that has my battle standard bearer in there. I got a lone level 2 using the lore of beasts behind. And then a horde of bestigors with my level 4 in there, and he's got the lore of shadow. Then I have a Tuskor chariot, another unit of 5 raiders with a musician, 30 gores, and then my Centigore unit. So you'll notice that I didn't have my herd stone, and that's not because I chose not to take it. That's because I just forgot it when I was unpacking all my stuff. I realized I didn't have it, so I had to adjust my list a little bit. I had to drop 2 of my level 1s, bump the remaining level 1 up to a level 2, and buy him some extra magical gear. And I think I threw a command on the Minotaurs or something like that. So I had to make a couple extra points up, but anyway, so he's got on his left, so my right, he's got his Necrosphinx, a War Sphinx, a huge unit of 10 chariots, a Hierotitan, and then he's got a horde of Tomb Guard, and that's got his king, his battle standard bearer, and the special character Necrotect in there. And then he's got a unit of 20 some odd bowmen, and he's got his Hierophant in there, who's a level 4, and then he's got 6 Necropolis Knights, and then behind them, you can't really see it, is the casket up on the hill. So I won the roll for the first turn, and I knew a lot about the old Tomb King book. I was pretty familiar with it, but I knew next to nothing about the new Tomb King book, so I have no idea where I'm to commit or anything like that. So I just kind of move everybody up. Yeah, and I think just by looking at these pictures of my movement phase, you can tell that I was confused and wasn't really sure what I was doing. So in my first magic phase, I draw out his scroll by dropping a pit on one of his monsters. But other than that, relatively uneventful turn. I just kind of moved everything forward. So in his turn, he charges. The Necrosphinx, I know, charges the Centigore unit who fail their terror test and run off the board. The War Sphinx charges something as well, but both of them fail. So some pretty bad rolling on his part. And then he also charges his Necropolis Knights into my Minotaurs, and I don't have very high expectations of Minotaurs, so what can I say? Here's just kind of a cool picture looking over my Bestigore unit at that chariot horde, because I have no idea what to do about that thing. Yeah, that's just a big nasty unit. Okay, so he uses the casket to snipe my level 2, which, you know, if I had known about it, I definitely would have done something different with him, but you'll see a lot of stuff like this in this game. And then his charioteers, they shoot, you know, they kill 3 of these raiders here, but fortunately I passed my panic check. Likewise, his Hierophant's unit kills 2 of these guys. And yeah, you can see the combat with the Minotaurs and the Necropolis Knights. My Minotaurs only did a couple wounds, and the Necropolis Knights, I think, slaughtered, you know, 2 or 3 of them, and broke them and ran them down, and got my chariot there. So yeah, that's not good. Yeah, they blew through those Minotaurs like they weren't even there. So a little bit of a shock. I expected the Minotaurs to fail, but I didn't expect them to fail that bad. So anyway, in my turn, I just kind of move the Ungor unit I just go past the Necropolis Knights. I'm just going to pretend they're not even there. The reason why I didn't just charge them in is because with my general moving away from this fight, I would have been steadfast on leadership 6, which would get me nowhere. And then I don't remember if I charged his general's unit with mine and failed, or if I just moved up here or whatever. But yeah, you can see that, it is what it is. And then over here, I tried to charge the Hyro Titan with the best score unit. My plan was just charge the Hyro Titan, kill it, overrun into the chariots, have to declare charge on them, boom, maximized, no charge from the chariots. But as you can see, it wasn't meant to be. The best scores failed the charge on the Hyro Titan. I think it was only by 1 or something. And it wasn't that long of a charge either, so that was just some horrible luck there. Now my best score unit is looking at, getting a horde of chariots right in the face. So very bad position to be in. So I just kind of shuffle my chariot up there to support them, and then I move the raiders right in front of the War Sphinx just to try to slow him down. I'm keeping this unit of 30 Gores back because I think I'm trying to pull a little bit of damage control over here. Trying to keep him from just rampaging all across this flank, but there's really nothing I can do. Especially so far away from my general's leadership bubble, that unit of Gores is just a huge liability. And actually, if you're wondering, that's one of the main reasons why I use ambush on occasion in these larger games, is because I find that the further I get away from my battle standard bearer and my general, is units like this are just a liability. Anyway, so yeah, that's how we're looking over here. Alright, so in the combat phase, he easily obliterates. He breaks the chariot, doesn't run it down. He reforms instead, and then in his turn, he's able to hit the Ungors in the rear, which is fine, because they're still going to be steadfast leadership 9. But you could just see how this is all going downhill very, very quickly. Yeah, so he hits the Ungors in the rear. Okay, so he takes his general and the Hyro Titan into my general's unit, and yeah, if you know anything about Tomb Kings, you know that's not going to go well for me. But I didn't. I knew it was going to be a real tough combat, but I wasn't expecting what happened. And then his chariots obviously charged my best score unit. And then you can see my chariot on the right there. That thing gets charged by his Necrosphinx, I think, the flying one. Fails its terror test, and then he redirects into the flank of my Bestigors. So that's what I'm looking at here. So I think it was a testament to my own ignorance about this army that even at this point, I didn't realize what kind of situation I was in. I thought I could still fight my way out of this, but if you know anything about Tomb Kings, yeah, this is not going to go my way. Okay, and then he, in his magic phase, his Hierophant throws a lot of dice at that spell that gives 5-up ward to all units within 12 inches. His Hierophant gets sucked into the void, kills a bunch of skeletons. But actually, I think this is the last picture I take this game, because my camera ended up dying, or I think I might have gone into anaphylactic shock from what happened next. So I'm just going to recycle back to this picture and just kind of explain to you how basically this is the end of the game right here. Okay, so his general's unit, right? He's got his king in there, he's got the Ramotep guy and his battle standard bearer. And they got a 5-up ward because he cast that spell with irresistible force. So anyway, I can't do anything to that unit. I think I got a total of 6 wounds through, which is just terrible. and he hits back with his hatred and frenzied tomb guard. So their weapon skill 6, strength 5, hatred and frenzy. So they kill a ton of gores, and then obviously his Hyro Titan's got a stomp and whatnot to throw into the fight. So long story short, he kills a truckload of gores, enough to break my steadfast. I'm on double ones to stay, and I don't get it. So he pursues with both units, but and gets me. And then the Bestigors fare a little bit better, but not a lot better. So the chariots, I was originally expecting D3 strength 4 impact hits from each chariot, so I figure I'll just weather the storm, hit back, and just wreck the unit. That's not quite how it happened. Yeah, so they get an additional +1 strength for the rank they have, and then another one for being in Horde, and they do full D6 impact hits. So I'm looking at 6 D6 strength 6 impact hits, which kills maybe 20, 22 Bestigors. So right there, he wipes out half the unit, and then the charioteers and the monster combined take down a couple more. Yeah, and basically this is how the game ends. The Bestigors fight on to the bitter end. They give a pretty good account of themselves. I shake his chariot unit down to he's got a couple left at the end of the game. I kill that Necrosphinx, but he charges the War Sphinx in, and the Necronites. Obviously, without my general, my battle standard bearer, they easily break the Ungor unit, and yeah, they pursue him, and then they get a beautiful flank charge on the Bestigor unit. And so the end of the game is just my Bestigor surrounded on all sides. I lost my level 4, and without the Crown of Command, there's no way I was going to stay. So that was the end of the game. So absolute crushing defeat to the Beastmen. I learned a lot about this Tomb King. What do they call it? The Monster Mash style army list. Very tough for my Beastmen. Anyway, it was a fun game. It's always fun to play somebody new and learn about a new army. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. So I'll catch you guys later.